us and we maintain our own assets. When TCFM is part of our own group, they completely understand how to provide the service to assets, because they have the DNA of the group is asset management. So as a service partner, when they come in, when they align with us, they completely understand how to deliver to a property management, to a asset builders. So this is because there is an alignment in terms of our understanding and what we need to give to the client. And since they are aligned with us in terms of what kind of service to give, what are the SOPs, and also the value of our organization will also replicate in their value when they deliver the services.
So definitely it's a very unique arrangement, and not very many organizations have that. I think, predominantly when ESPL thought of buying out TCFM, okay, with the thought process is um, that, okay, we understand the client needs, like Shireen rightly said, we understand the client's needs, and we want to, when the services actually deliverables have to be done, the understanding between the client expectation and the final delivery has to match. And definitely when this is with your own company, where the values are common and where the understanding is called common, the collaboration is much better. And I think at the end of the day, the client gets benefited because of that, because the delivery becomes seamless. I think it helps that way.
There is a holistic approach where we focus on our efficiency and deliverables. For example, if I take you through the complete life cycle of how we meet the client, understand their need, understand their requirement, we do a need assessment through our SST team, wherein when we do the survey, not only the ESPL team, even the TCFM team is part of the survey to understand the client requirement. Based on that, we work on this SOW, we work on the solutioning, where there is a collaboration between the TCFM and ESPL to give a solution to the client. Once we do that, we get the SLA from the client, and the same is shared with TCFM. So now when we go for our service delivery, or once we get the contract, when we deliver, there is a complete understanding of services, understanding of scope which we need to provide by both ESPL and TCFM, because we've been part of that solutioning from day one. So there is no gap between what is required to give to the service we require to give to the client, and what is the understanding of our TCFM, who's actually going to deliver in terms of the services. The complete management is done by ESPL. So the management, what the management has promised to the client, the same is delivered by TCFM.
So, because we are there right from the so-called due diligence to providing the solutioning, so what happens is the inputs are taken not only basis, what's from the governance or from the management perspective. It is also taken from where the deliverables have to be done and how they have to be efficient. So, when we are giving the solution to the client also, or when ESPL is portraying the solution to the client, they always have the services in their mind. So the solutioning is first is in a better format. Second is when the transition happens, the transitions are more seamless, because there is a collaboration that has happened, and there is a thought process which has been put from the management as well as services perspective.
We do a site assessment, a client assessment. So when we do the survey and when we give a solutioning, we completely get in terms of the asset property management. It's what your question was. Property management is the common area of a building. So when we get into that, we do a survey and we work on the services. When you're talking about FM, how does TCFM comes into the system? So we are management part of the entire services, and TCFM is a service delivery. So in terms of housekeeping, technical services, where we have supervisors and below team and the executive level come from TCFM, where we completely get into the management, the review, putting the SLAs in place, putting the SOW in place, the regular review, we'll have MMR with the client. So this is where the asset management in terms of property management and common area comes. That's where property management comes. In terms of IFM, it is occupiers inside the property where we have other companies occupied in those. They come in as integrated facility management services. Now we can have two contracts, one with the property management and one with the direct contract with the occupiers. So that is the difference between property management and IFM. Majorly TCFM, when they give services, it is both for property management and IFM. And when you're talking about property management, it's only the common area which we're doing. So ESPL is able to manage both property management and the IFM.
So what actually happens is once the operations has been commenced, post the transition, I'm talking about post transition, when your regular operations have started, of course the SLAs are known, the frequencies of the things that you have to do on ground. Your schedules are fixed, it can be daily, it can be weekly or bi-weekly, monthly, whatever are there. So based on that, of course, your SLAs and everything is fixed. So once that all is put together and the deliverables are started, of course, there is a monitoring, which is both from TCFM as well as from the management, that is from ESPL. And if there are any gaps, as and when it is there, it's immediately rectified, on a weekly or sometimes on a daily basis as well. Like I already said, there are standard operating processes. So those processes have to be followed, which are also shared with our client so that they also know what are the processes that we have. And if there are any changes that they are looking for, we can implement those as well. Lastly, it comes to, when the reviews happen. So on a monthly basis, and of course there are on quarterly basis, when the reviews are done on the SLAs and KPIs which are set, and where the gaps are looked at. In case there are any gaps, they need to be immediately rectified. If things are working fine, I mean the SLAs are, of course, it continues.
So basically, after COVID, more concentration is on health and safety. So they want to have facilities which are safe for their occupants. So that would be the first criteria which the client would look at. Then they also focuses on sustainability, where they want us to reduce our carbon consumption or water consumption. So their sustainability is becoming another major area where the client is looking for. And of late, the most important requirement of the client is data and analytics, because based on data analytics, they want to make a informed decision on like preventive maintenance, etc. So they're looking more into data and analytics. Also, automation is what everybody is looking at. AI. So based on AI, they want to have touchless technology for their facility management. Going forward, yes, as many of the places, there are also like we have robots, for cleaning. Plus, of late, there's a new trend which has started where we are having drones to do the audits or maintenance task. So they're using drones for that. So technology plays a very, very important role going forward.
So most important thing for us is, our business is all people driven. So finally the deliverables are being done. We may talk about health and safety, we may talk about data and technology, but everything has to be done by our people who are on ground. So upskilling and training them continuously becomes the core of all the requirements, because like Shireen rightly said, post COVID, the thing for IFM or the FM industry has changed a lot. We are not looked at now providing only services or a service provider. The client is looking at us for becoming more of a service partner, where we can take care of their employees and their safety and their needs. So may it be an employee engagement of the client for their employees, we become an integral part of that. There is a need of health and safety trainings to be given. we as a service providers become a part of that. So from the concept of service providers, it's changing to service partners, where we in true terms have to be partnering with them